Hello everybody, welcome to the Canary Eye and welcome back. I'm your host, Ranulph Bacon, and boy, it's a lovely sunny day in August, and boy have we got some hot news to digest today regarding Norwich City. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Excuse me. Of course, you know it's hot, but it's never too hot for a nice old cup of tea. And hot cross bun. But yeah, so massive news has come out today regarding Norwich City. DELIA, Smith, and Michael Wynne-Jones have sold the club. Yeah, this is absolutely massive. I'll read out the club statement, then I'll read out some news I've got from external sources as well, because this is huge in the future of the club. So yeah, this is it. This is what it says. Norfolk Holdings reaches agreement to enable majority control of Norwich City, subject to a takeover panel and shareholder approval. The club's joint majority shareholders, DELIA Smith, Michael Wynne-Jones, and Mark Attanasio's group Norfolk Holdings, have reached an agreement which will enable Norfolk Holdings to assume majority of control of the club, conditional on the grant of a Rule 9 waiver by the takeover panel and subsequent approval of the club's independent shareholders. It has been agreed that in consideration for Norfolk Holdings capitalising certain loans which have been made available to the club, totalling approximately £59 million, the club will issue newly created non-voting preference shares to Norfolk Holdings. From the 1st of March 2025, certain of those shares can be converted to ordinary shares in the club. In the event of that conversion taking place in full, Norfolk Holdings' shareholding will increase to approximately 85% of the club's ordinary share capital, with DELIA and Michael holding 10% and the remainder being held by the club's other shareholders. DELIA and Michael have always been clear that they would act in the best interests of the club when passing on the stewardship of it. In selecting Norfolk Holdings following their introduction to the club in 2022, the further strengthening of the relationship and alignment of interests since, DELIA and Michael feel that the group are best placed to be the next custodians of the club. By structuring the agreement in this way, which involves no payment to DELIA and Michael in exchange for the issuance of the preference shares that enable Norfolk Holdings to acquire majority control of Norwich City, the parties have secured the long-term financial security of the club and an effective and positive transition. As was the case when Norfolk Holdings' shareholding in the club was increased in October 2023, the club is required to obtain a Rule 9 waiver from the takeover panel in respect of the new shares to be issued to Norfolk Holdings. Any approval of the takeover panel will be subject to approval for the Rule 9 waiver from the club's independent shareholders at an extraordinary general meeting, along with other approvals to the club shareholders. All parties hope to conclude this process ahead of the annual general meeting in November 2024. If shareholder approvals are granted, DELIA and Michael will step down as directors of the club and become honorary life presidents. Tom Smith, Zoe Webber, and Mark Attanasio will remain as directors of the club, and Norfolk Holdings have now appointed Richard Resler to the board. Richard will bring a wealth of experience to the club, having been an integral part of Norfolk Holdings following their initial introduction to the club. If shareholder approvals are granted, Norfolk Holdings will also have the right to appoint a further director to the board. Shareholders will be provided with further information regarding the Rule 9 waiver and details of the associated general meeting. Shareholders should make their own decisions on how to vote on the basis of such further information. So, that is absolutely massive. So, it seems that Norfolk Holdings, the Attanasio Group, Mark and Michael Attanasio and co, are now taking majority control of the football club, which I think is absolutely huge. Of course, they've done well with the Milwaukee Brewers out in Wisconsin in the Major League Baseball, and they've done amazingly with that. So, who says that they can't do the same with a football club? And it says here that so DELIA and Michael, when passing on the baton of ownership, said that, basically saying that they do it in the best interests of the club, and to be honest, has been recently been shaky, and I honestly thought, I was thinking to myself, if DELIA really, really cares about the future of the club, then she should sell. And she has done that, and her and Michael have proven that they care about the future of this club, which I personally really appreciate. And there's also another bit of news as well that we have to address as well, and also this is good news as well, which is good, and we'll get into the other stuff later on in the video. So yeah, the club are creating new shares which will dilute DELIA and Michael's shares, so they won't be earning a penny of this process, and the money from this will clear the club's debt, which is very thoughtful of them. I appreciate that a lot. Chris Gorham, the world's best commentator, has said this basically means DELIA and Michael may no longer be directors as soon as the end of September. Their share of the club would reduce by 10%. Not by 10%, to 10%. They'd hold 10% in the club by March, but they don't take any money. Share conversion effectively means 59% of debt wiped out, and it doesn't need EFL approval, which is huge. So clearing a huge amount of club debt, which has probably come from, wasted transfers, spent too much money on certain things. 59 million for a championship team, that is absolutely huge, and we won't have that on our shoulders anymore, which is absolutely massive. So it's worth showing. So what DELIA and Michael have done during their tenure as of the club, 27 years, which is absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. 5 trophies, 6 promotions, and 6 relegations. Quite the roller coaster ride, indeed. So yeah, just talking about how a lot of people just said that it just weren't, when we were getting to the Premier League, we just weren't able to stay there for as long as we would have liked, and just wasn't enough ambition. Well, I know there was ambition, but it's just really hard to execute that. I mean, I guess the circumstances have been really, really tight, so yeah, you can't really blame them for that. And of course, a lot of people have been critical of the ownership. I myself personally have, and I admit to that. But yeah, it's not always been perfect, but considering where we were in, I think, 1996, when they initially did take over, they've got us a long way since then, because, I think we were about to go bust, we were out of money, and then they came along and they saved us, and, they were able to ensure the long-term financial health of the club, which is what they've done over the whole of the 21st century. And yeah, so in the unlikely event that Delia Smith and Michael Wynne Jones are watching this, I want to say, on the behalf of the whole Norwich City fan base and everyone involved in the club, thank you. Thank you very much for everything, for saving our club, for making sure we had a future. Because you did do that, and yeah, we wouldn't be here without you. We'd probably be in League 2 if it weren't for you too. So thank you very much, and I very much appreciate you knowing that stepping away is the best thing you can do. Best thing they can do. It's the best thing they can do for the next chapter of the club. So thank you very much. There's another bit of news to talk about involving Jonathan Rowe. So Jonathan Rowe will be training with the under-21 side until further notice, which is honestly, I think, is the punishment he could expect coming towards him, because, yeah, honestly, the performance on Saturday against Oxford United was really, really poor, and frankly, I think not having him on the pitch was a large factor that did lead to our downfall. Of course, you have to blame, of course, Grant Hanley's mistakes at centre-back, just that the centre-back weren't up to scratch. The defending wasn't great, and to be fair, Oxford United just outplayed us the entire day. So yeah, that was really disappointing. So yeah, but to be honest, seeing Jonathan Rowe do something like that is just the last thing I would have expected from him. And frankly, I think that him being required to train with the under-21s is the punishment that he should have seen coming when he did that. So yeah, I think he knows better than that. I know he knows better than that, and I'm still confident that he's going to do what's right and come out and apologise to everyone, because everyone is owed an apology from him, and he's a good person. I've met him. I've met Jonny Rowe. I've met Jonny multiple times, and he is a lovely, lovely, lovely chap, and I know that I am confident that he's going to do what's right by the club, by everyone, by the fans, by everyone. So yes, so that's pretty much all there is to dissect. If I've got any advice to you guys today, try and absorb the sun as much as you can. Enjoy it, because us living here in England and Britain, it doesn't always come around, and when it does, it's absolutely fantastic. Excuse me. So I will be at the game tomorrow night for the League Cup first round match against Stevenage, and I'll be there, and there will be a video on the channel for that, so look out for that. So I'll be, hopefully, I'll see you around then. Okay, so I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to help grow the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bosh.